Good morning, Periscope family. It's Friday morning, 8 o'clock. So you got the whistle, and it's time to jump on. So we'll wait a sec for everybody to engage with us today. There's my lovely wife, Cheryl. There's Brenda. I just thought for a minute while we're getting going, I wanted to spend some time with my prayer circles today. Good morning, Alan. So I'm just going to put those up on the board because I put those up about a year and a half ago, and they're just a big part of my day. So the prayer circle is. These are things that were the key pieces I began praying about a couple of years ago for my family, and then all around those are the scriptures that support them. So as I get scriptures that support the pieces I'm working on, they go up on the prayer board there with that. Good morning, Deborah. So anyway, the vision turned around. Look at that, guys! I put on green for you today. I showered and went in the closet and thought, what should I wear today? It'd be fun. I haven't worn this green shirt for a long time, so I thought it would be a fun way to start out Friday. So today I put up Fresh Start Friday. I was reading one of my scriptures this morning. Actually, it's from Graham Cook, and he was talking about the fact that every day is an opportunity for a fresh start. And so many people look at Friday as like the end to a long and nasty week, and it's like, thank God we made it to Friday. And I'm going, no, thank God we made it to this morning, because every morning is an opportunity for you to start over fresh. It's an opportunity to focus on your vision, your destiny, where you're going, or it's an opportunity to focus on the pains and the struggles of the past. So anyway, Fresh Start Friday. It's really, every morning is a fresh start. Every morning is an opportunity to go create something new in your life, to walk in your destiny, and to do something amazing with who you are. So how you start your day is so important, because how you start your day prepares you for what's going on the rest of the day. So let's get started on today. We've got a bunch of people on here. We've got all my friends and family with us. This process of the last couple of weeks has been an interesting one for me. And yesterday and this morning were particularly intriguing because I had some really, really positive comments. Good morning, Stan. I had some really amazing comments. Good morning, Molly. I had some great comments from folks. And all of a sudden, I'm starting to feel like, oh my gosh, Forrest, you're responsible for having the word that's going to change people's lives. And the ego and the pride starts coming in. And you begin to think about, how am I going to show up every day in order to make the difference that people need to make? And so I knew that was off. So the first place I went when I was journaling this morning, I wrote that down in my blue, because my blue is what I write my junk in. And then I said, God, what are we going to do about this? And it's so cool when you write in red, because God shows up and he starts to talk to you. And he takes you through a process. And the first thing he said to me on this is, he said, Forrest, a year ago, I told you to start writing, and I told you to start videoing, making videos. And he said, you finally started doing that 3 weeks ago. Look at the progress. Look at what's happened. Look at how fast you're growing, how fast you're learning. And if you'll trust me, I will continue to take you through this process, realizing that there's going to be speed bumps. There's going to be need for correction. There's going to be wins and loses. You're going to do some amazing things. You're going to do some stupid things. All of this is it was written in my red. But he said, here's the thing you need to understand. Look at how fast you have been growing. There's an urgency to this season for you to bring forth what's in your voice. And more importantly, there's an urgency in this season for your voice to be to light the fire, to light the voice in others, because we need the voices of my people speaking out in the world today. We need the passions, the purposes, the destinies that are in my people speaking out today. And there's an urgency about that. So trust the process. Realize that, get ready to get excited about my correction, because I need to correct you quickly. And I'm sharing my process with you guys because I think this is important for each one on the Destiny team here. There's an urgency in the world for us to make a difference. As I was praying this morning, it said, this was really cool. It said, be encouraged by what the world sees as success. And then I just wrote down, now, this is not a negative or positive, but he said, be encouraged by what the world sees as success. Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, stupid advertisements. I was flipping through the channels with Anna last night. There's like a really stupid TV show on. And the world is celebrating all of these successes. And he said, if this is what the world can produce and celebrate, imagine what I, your God, can do and produce living in you. If what we're watching in the world today is what the world is celebrating, imagine what God could do in you and in me if we actually showed up and allowed him to move through us. So that's the process that's been happening. And he said, Forrest, I want you to take tonight, and you can either sit here and look at all of the things you didn't get done this week. And by the way, if you saw my desk, there's a lot of them. But tonight, take the time to celebrate learning and growing. Take the time to celebrate, but realize that there's also urgency in what's happening. So you need to celebrate what's happening. You need to relax in that, but also realize that we've got some urgency in where we're going. So, I think we'll go to this. This is, remember I told you back in August that I wrote the first prophetic word that the Lord gave me. And so I want to share this with you this morning. This is what he told me to share, I think. So I wrote this question to God. I said, Father, show me how to live in your spirit and how to discover you. Show me how to release, and this, you're going to put your words in here. Okay, these are my 2 words. Show me how to release my resentments and my resistance. So there are things in you. There's a couple words that you can just write down. Show me how to release blank and blank in me. And instead, let me see your hand on the last 30 years of my life. And let me celebrate that story, not the story of, and you fill in the blank, not the story of my resistance and my resentment. That was what I wrote. Then this is what came next. Forrest, where are you today? So Stan, Molly, McCare, Denise, Deborah, Cheryl, where are you today? You're knocking on my door. Would you have gotten here following a different path? So the key here is, would I have gotten to where I am today if I hadn't gone through all this stuff? Would you have gotten here following a different path? You'll never know. But you are now here, and the destiny I have for you is in front of you. Today is what matters to me, not yesterday. Yesterday brought you to today, and today you're discovering me. So everything that's happened in our past, for me, the resentments, the resistance, all of those things, all of the pains, all of the hurts, they brought us to today. And what matters to God is where we are today. He went on to say, 30 years of something else. All of the things you think you wanted. Do you really know where those things would have taken you? You don't know the pains and the sorrows that you missed out on. You don't know what I protected you from. And then he gave me the part that touched my heart. He said, celebrate the gift of Anna. Anna's my daughter. Celebrate the gift of Anna. Pray for her destiny. Be grateful that her heart is open to me as yours is. The one thing is me. I make everything else easy when you let go of your resistance, your resentment, and your hurts. Let my spirit fill your loneliness. This will amaze you. It's outside your box. That's why you don't believe me yet. Faith is required to discover my thoughts for you. Faith is required. It's outside our box. So that was like, I started with that this morning. And then as I began writing, and I actually went back, here's a cool thing to do. So remember, we got the journal, right? You've got the 3 pens. People have asked me about these, so I'll just touch again. Blue is when I write down my stuff. Okay, all the looping, all the crap. God is when I say, God, what are you doing? And then black is the content for what I want to do some point with my writing. So it's as equally important to go back and reread what you've written, even though it takes time. And as I'm rereading what I've written, what I'm realizing is there's so much amazing things. You know, when I look at my board, and I won't flip the camera right now, when I look at my board and I look at all of the pieces, and I'm realizing that the benefit to the whiteboard is I can see the pieces, and every couple of days I erase something, I move it around, I redo it. So there's all of these pieces. Same thing in the journal. There's all of these pieces. And I said, Lord, what? Okay, so we've set aside the past. We're excited about the future. We're creating our destiny. We're developing our voice. We're moving from our pains and our sorrows into filling our destiny. But I said, you're giving me too much. When I read my Bible, I've underlined so much in red. And there's all of these pieces, and my brain is not wrapping itself around them very well. My brain is just going, too much stuff. Yeah, gems have many facets. Now, the good thing is the diamond holds them all together. And he said, Forrest, you're beginning to approach the creativity and the discovery process, because every great scientist, every great mathematician, every great inventor spends their lifetime wrestling with problems and challenges. You know, like if you're trying to solve a math theorem or figure out a scientific discovery. You've got all of these pieces, and greatness comes from the person who's willing to be diligent, to continue to play with the pieces, to play with the puzzle pieces, to move them around, to take all of the notes that God has given you. We'll turn that off. Take all of the pieces, all of the words, and they don't come together immediately. We'll just let the phone ring because I can't hit the privacy button. There we go, got it. We get frustrated because the pieces don't come together right away. But great discoveries and great inventions typically don't come together right away. And you're trying to discover and bring out what's in you. I'm 60, some of you are 20, some of you are 70, some of you are whatever age. You're trying to bring together all of these pieces that are in you, everything that God's put in you, and bring it out. And so the writing, the reading, the board, the notes, you have all of these pieces. And I realized today the joy of my life is discovering how to move those pieces around and bring them together and watch them solidify. So I want to encourage you guys as we wrap up today. There's all of these moving pieces in your life, and it's okay to have them. There's thoughts, and there's desires, and there's dreams. There's directions, there's inspiration. There's so many pieces. And your job is to take the time to realize that it's okay to be in the discovery process, to be in the creative process, and to look at today and go, fresh start Friday. By the way, fresh start Saturday, fresh start Sunday, fresh start Monday, fresh start Tuesday. Every day to take those pieces and continue to move them and bring them together so that what's in you can come out in an amazing way. Most of you, I think, have something inside you that feels really big. But when you speak it, when it starts to come out, and this has been my story, when it starts to come out, you know how it can feel really small and little and not significant. We've got all this stuff in the world. So you've got something really big in you, but when you start to bring it out, it feels so small and insignificant. And that's the lie. What's in you matters. God made it big. You're the one who's letting small show up. And the way we get rid of small showing up is we take the time and we pay the price to be diligent to develop your gifts, to develop your passions, to develop your talents, to develop your voice, to develop your message. That process takes time. It's an inventive process. It's a creative process. It's a discovery process. But it takes diligence every day. And the reason these politicians are, quote, so good at what they do is they say their message every day over and over and over. And then you say your message once and it comes out feeling small. And you feel insignificant and you feel like you don't matter. I just want to encourage you today that there's something amazing in you. It needs to be developed. It needs to be nurtured. You're knocking on the door. And the Lord said, Forrest, keep knocking on my door. He said, so much of your life, you were knocking on the wrong door. You kept knocking on the wrong door. And you're frustrated with the results you were getting. But if you'll start knocking on this door as much as you were knocking on the door that you were looping on, this door of all resistance and all the resentment, start knocking on my door and be as diligent about knocking on my door as you were on knocking on the door of all of your resistance and resentments. And then as those pieces come out, realize that it's going to take time and diligence and discipline to bring them together, to nurture them, to water them, and bring them to life. What's in you is amazing. And I just pray today that you'll have time this weekend to think about who you are, who God created you to be, and to go out and be amazing with your voice and the message that's in you. Hey, everybody. Happy Shabbat. Tonight's Friday night. We've got Deborah's coming over with Luna. We're having family dinner. We're going to celebrate. We're going to play some games. Take tonight to be with your family. Enjoy yourself. Take time Saturday or Sunday to rest. Enjoy fellowship with your family and friends. And be ready for an amazing day. Thank you, Molly. You're such a blessing. Sharon, thank you for being a blessing. And I just want to say, those of you who've sent me notes of encouragement, I really appreciate them. They're part of this whole process for me. And I am so grateful to be able to share my life with you and know that as you share your life with the world, we will change the world. We will make it different. Mary Ann, thanks for being on the call today. Thank you for that. We can change the world in a more significant way than all of the other stuff that's happening in the world is going to do. Alan, thanks for being on the call. You're such a blessing, Alan. I always admired your leadership, and so for you to be here is a real honor for me. Thank you for being a part of our day. Everybody have a blessed weekend. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. See you guys. Love you a bunch.